In this video, you're going to learn the 4 techniques that teach you how to play virtually any piano in any condition, aside from all the keys being stuck. So hey, my name's Tim the Piano Man. I play about 50 shows a month on average at retirement communities, and I have a hotel gig that I play on the weekends too for fun. But when I play at retirement communities, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get the most amazing concert grand that was donated by somebody, and the retirement community, they don't even know what they have, which is a real treat. But most of the time, they're going to be in medium to kind of somewhat crappy condition. So I've developed some techniques that allow me to continue my performance regardless of how good the piano is. When I book a show, I'll ask if they have a piano, for one. And then sometimes they'll say like, yeah, but I don't know how in tune it is. If I really want to get into it, then I'll ask them to play it and send me a video. But they don't always have time to do that. So I take the risk. I show up, and usually the piano is okay. Could be better. But here's some things that you can do that will make your performance a lot better and mitigate the risk of playing a crappy piano. So here's the first thing. If the piano has some missing keys in the upper register, play the melody using octaves. All right, so train yourself, teach yourself to do octaves. Like say that E flat in the top is sticking for some reason. If you're playing My Blue Heaven, so it's not there. So then what you would do is when you play octaves, even if they have a couple missing keys, then you have a higher chance of hitting at least one of them that's working. So that's one technique that I use, is I play the melody in octaves when there's some sticky keys in the upper register. The next thing is if there's sticky keys in the lower register, it's harder because octaves sound muddy. That technique doesn't work in the lower register most of the time. It can, but what I prefer is to switch the key. So one thing you can do is when you sit down, you can test to see if the keys are sticky. Mine are not, because I had some work on it, but just do a chromatic run like that, and that should get it working. I mean, not working, but that'll give you the information that you need to figure out what keys are working for you. So if you have a bunch of the black keys that aren't working, then play in C. That shouldn't be too hard. But if you have, like, say if you have some Fs and some Cs that aren't working, okay, well, play in D major then, because you have the C sharp and you have the F sharp. So that's another technique. Change the keys when you need to. Oh, so here's one that I really like. The piano's out of tune. So if the piano's out of tune, which a lot of the times it is, then you can switch up your repertoire a little bit. This is not really the best solution for a classical piano player. If you're a classical pianist, then I recommend that you bring your own keyboard, because in classical music, the tune of the piano I think is a lot more important. But if you're playing boogie woogie and blues piano, barrel house piano, then even ragtime, it sounds kind of nice. I mean, I wouldn't say nice, but it's almost like it's par for the course. And the style of music of boogie woogie, blues, and ragtime, it doesn't sound as bad with an out-of-tune piano. So I learned a bunch of Scott Joplin when I was finding out this and creating this technique. I learned a bunch of Scott Joplin, and I applied a lot of the principles of the stride piano to the way that I approach music. So what I did is, instead of doing the stride, which you cover a lot more ground, what I do is I just do bass chord with one hand. So instead of I'll do like I'll just do that. And that's really helpful because it allows the right hand to play the melody. technique is to incorporate stride elements, but also I use that simplified version because it still creates the same effect, which is to create the rhythm in the left hand. There's one more point. Okay. Sometimes, this happened to me recently in Nashville actually, the sustain pedal's not working. Sometimes the sustain pedal just doesn't work. So what do you do in that situation? Sustain pedal can be such a crutch. And it really is a great tool to create an atmospheric, grand, big sounding piano sound. But if it's not working, then what are you gonna do? Okay, so there's two different things that you can do. First, you have to play more of the boogie style. And you really want to rely on the rhythm. I'm not using the pedal at all. I don't need to, because that particular style, like the forward to the floor, banjo, kind of jazz, that kind of style is great and you don't need a sustain pedal. It sucks because if you have some really good ballads, right? You want to lay on that sustain pedal. Well, here's how you get around it. You just play as legato as possible. So my friend Tim Menchu mentioned this to me when we were hanging out the other day. He's a great piano player. So here's what you do. Basically, so I'm going to lay off the sustain pedal and play that same song. I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. It's an Elvis tune. In that situation, you hold down the notes as long as you possibly can. It creates a similar effect. It's not as good in my opinion, but if you need to play some ballads and you don't have a sustain pedal, then laying on the keys, playing them legato is the way to get around that. So let me know what you think in the comments about these techniques. This is how I play 50 shows a month because I don't bring my keys. I don't have to spend the extra time and energy loading all my gear. I just show up, sit down, and I play the piano that's there. And so those are some techniques that I use that allow me to create an engaging show on almost any kind of piano. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, follow, and message me if you want to get in touch about any kind of coaching, because I offer coaching as well. I teach piano players how to do this. I have a limited amount of time slots because I'm super busy. But if that's something that you're interested in, just let me know.